You won't believe this jaw-dropping moment when a fearless rescue team jumped in to save a giraffe from the clutches of a massive 200-pound python. Can you imagine the sheer terror? The footage is absolutely wild, showing that enormous snake wrapping its coils tightly around the giraffe's neck. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, these brave rescuers swooped in like real-life superheroes. Their quick thinking and courage not only saved the giraffe's life but also reminded us of the incredible bond between humans and wildlife. Isn't that just amazing? In this incredible rescue, a fearless team is seen grappling with a massive python, all in a desperate attempt to save a giraffe's life. Can you believe the sheer bravery? They used ropes and teamwork, really putting their all into it. After a tense struggle, they finally managed to free the giraffe, who stumbled away, shaken but safe. It's moments like these that remind us just how wild and unpredictable the animal kingdom can be. You're witnessing some of the most jaw-dropping moments from the animal world, and it's truly unforgettable. But before we dive back in, do me a favor and smash that like button. And hey, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any of our exciting new videos. Now, picture this. After a long, sweaty day under the scorching sun, a group of Kenyan wildlife heroes, who have been tirelessly protecting our amazing animals, decided it was high time for a little R&R. They headed over to a nearby watering hole, where the cool water sparkled under the golden sun. Can you just imagine the relief and joy on their faces as they took a moment to unwind and soak in the beauty of nature around them? It's these little breaks that recharge their spirits and keep them motivated to continue their incredible work. As they peeled off their heavy gear, a stunning sight caught their eyes over on the other side of the river. A herd of frightened giraffes was nervously shifting around. These gentle giants were desperately trying to cross to safety, and you could totally see the panic in their eyes. They were being stalked by a hungry python, slithering through the grass like it owned the place. Without missing a beat, the brave rescuers jumped into action, splashing into the water with determination. They knew they had to help these majestic creatures escape the jaws of danger. Can you imagine the tension? The rescuers waded through the water, hearts racing, ready to guide the giraffes to safety and away from that giant serpent. It was a moment of pure courage and compassion. The rescuers knew that they had to act fast if they were going to save the giraffes. With the help of local villagers, they managed to herd the animals onto a nearby island where they were safe from the snake. But this was only the beginning of the adventure. The rescuers then had the daunting task of trying to capture the huge python so that it couldn't harm any more animals. It was a tough job, but eventually they managed to catch the massive serpent and transport it back across the river. They tied it up securely and prepared to release it back into the wild away from the giraffes. But they had no idea what would happen next. As they let the snake go, it slithered away into the bushes, disappearing from sight. And that's when the real drama began. Moments later, one of the rescuers heard a scream from one of the giraffes, and they all turned to see the giant python rearing its head once again. The snake had come back for more, and it was ready to strike. The rescuers sprung into action and managed to scare the python away once again. But this time they knew that they needed to do more. They had to find a way to stop the snake from coming back and endangering the giraffes. That's when they came up with an ingenious plan. They decided to tie a rope across the river to prevent the python from crossing over and attacking again. It was a risky move, but it worked. The python was trapped on the other side of the river and the giraffes were safe. The rescuers had saved the day, but this was not the end of the story. The python was still a threat to the giraffes, and they had to find a more permanent solution. That's when they decided to call in reinforcements. They contacted a local wildlife sanctuary and asked for help. The sanctuary agreed to send a team to capture the python and take it off to safety. Meanwhile, the giraffes were still stuck on the island and the rescuers were getting worried. They knew that the animals wouldn't be able to stay there forever, and they had to find a way to get them back to safety on the mainland. Using a combination of sweet treats and gentle persuasion, the rescuers managed to lure the giraffes off the island and back to the mainland. The animals were finally safe, thanks to the quick reactions of the rescuers. As the sun began to set over the African savanna, the wearied but satisfied rescuers made their way home. They had faced many dangers during their long day, but they had saved countless lives, and that made all the difference. They had proven that even in the face of adversity, courage and kindness could prevail. As the stars twinkled above them, they dreamed of a world where humans and animals could live in harmony and where every creature, great and small, was safe from harm. Their work was never done, but they knew that as long as they had each other and the strength of their bond, they could face any challenge that came their way. As soon as the news of the incident spread, people from all over the country praised the rescuers for their bravery and kindness. They were seen as heroes who had put their own safety at risk to save the lives of others. Many people donated money and supplies to the rescue organization, which helped them to carry out even more daring rescues in the future. The story of the brave rescuers and the terrifying python became a local legend, inspiring generations of animal lovers to come to the aid of those in need. The rescued giraffes were forever changed by their experience. They had been saved from certain death by the heroic actions of the rescuers, and they carried the memory of their saviors in their hearts for the rest of their lives. Some of the giraffes went on to become ambassadors for their species, appearing in TV shows and documentaries that raised awareness of the threats facing giraffes in the wild. Others found loving homes and sanctuaries where they were cared for by people who had fallen in love with their gentle nature and graceful beauty. But perhaps the greatest reward for the rescuers was knowing that their actions had made a real difference in the world. They had saved not just the lives of the giraffes, but also the precious ecosystem they lived in. By taking away the threat of the python, they really brought back balance to the fragile web of life in the savanna. Now, those graceful giraffes can keep wandering the plains, living their lives freely for many generations to come. Isn't that amazing? Even in the darkest moments, these rescuers discovered that hope can really light the way. They tackled fear and uncertainty without backing down, showing us all that, with a little courage and determination, anything is possible. Isn't that inspiring? They had forged unbreakable bonds with each other and with the animals they had rescued, and they knew that together they could face any challenge that came their way. As the years passed, the memories of that fateful day by the river faded into legend. But the impact of the rescuers' actions never did. Their bravery and kindness had left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of all who knew them, and their story continued to inspire awe and wonder in equal measure. For in the end, it was their unwavering determination to protect and preserve the natural world that had made them true heroes of the animal kingdom. If you're anything like me, you can't get enough of these amazing animal stories. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. And don't forget to leave a like below to show us you approve. We've got tons of incredible animal videos coming your way. So stick around and prepare to be amazed. Who knows, you might just learn something new about our amazing animal friends along the way. See you soon.